Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out to the webinar today, sponsored by StriveScan. I am the facilitator of this session. So just to begin, before we get started, I hand it off to Texas Tech University. Just so you know, how you will ask questions today will not be by speaking. You're muted and your video is turned off. You will ask questions by the Q&A button. So you will ask those questions and the presenter will be able to see that. And they will be able to respond to you that way. Like I said, your camera and mic are off. There is not a raise hand option, so just type in those questions when you have them. And definitely sign up for more sessions that are available on moacac.org. There are still some going on after today, and there will be a recording of this session if you're interested in checking that out at moacac.org. With that, I will turn it over to your presenter.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm gonna share my screen for everybody real quick. There we go. Make sure I've got my Q&A for any questions. Yes, please use the Q&A function as we go today. It is the best way to get your answers, questions answered. I always say there's never a bad question. The only bad question is the one that you don't ask. And when you leave a presentation with an admissions experts and you don't ask those questions, we always say don't leave with questions. But there's our mailing list QR code. If you want to scan it, if you don't want to, you don't have time, do not worry about that. We will get your information from MOACAC or MOACA. So do not worry about that. We are going to get going though, and I want to welcome you all to the Texas Tech University presentation. My name is Taylor Chilcutt. I'm a lead admissions counselor with Texas Tech. I am based out of Dallas-Fort Worth, so I'm actually not on campus. I am a regional admissions counselor. I also cover, though, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. So that is why you get me. I do take my trips up to Kansas and Missouri when I get opportunities to. Unfortunately, we are grounded, and it's killing me right now, but we love to go up there. And I enjoy being up in the KC area because of Pat Mahomes over there. He is a Tech alum, so we like to enjoy that as much as possible. All right, so we're going to get going. For those that don't know about Texas Tech University, we are 40,322 students as of fall 2020. That makes us in Texas around the 5th largest institution in the state of Texas. It's crazy. There are huge universities here in Texas, but 40,000 was an accomplishment for us this year. We really wanted to get to 40,000 by 2020, and we were able to hit that. We are a Tier 1 research institution at Texas Tech, so we are one of only 131 Carnegie Tier 1 research institutions in the country, one of only 94 public schools, so we have a lot of research opportunities. There's our male to female ratio. We do have a 20-to-1 student to teacher ratio, which I'm really proud about. I've been with Texas Tech. This is my 7th admission cycle, 5.5 years now, and I have seen this student to teacher ratio drop as our enrollment has grown, and that is one of the things I'm really proud to see, that we're really investing back into our students to make sure that we're giving them the attention. Now, that being said, you may have a large freshman class, as that is pretty normal at a major institution. Say freshman biology, it's roughly around 400, but once you get into your specific major, it's going to be a lot smaller. There's our average SAT. Now, we are test optional this year, so I will talk about fall 2021 students, where we're at on the admissions process here in a little bit, but to give you an idea, average SAT 1171, that's about a 23-24 on the ACT scale. Let's see what the professionals are talking about for Texas Tech. Here's our recognition. We're a top public university by U.S. News World Reports. Forbes magazine puts us at number 72 on the best value for affordability. We're really proud about that. Keeping the cost of college education or higher education down is something that's really important to our faculty, and that's something we really work on. The APLU, what that is American, those are recruiters for companies, professional recruiters. They have ranked us number 9 in the country in workplace preparedness for our graduates. We are an insight into diversity champion. That's something also that Texas Tech is very proud about, something we work hard to. We are a Hispanic serving institution at 29.27% of our student body. We really want to represent the state of Texas and what is representative of Texas and our diversity. And last but not least, on the LGBTQI side, we are a 5-star premier campus. We are one of only 2 5-star campuses for inclusivity on a college campus in the state of Texas, and we are really proud about that, especially being a leader in the state of Texas when it comes to that. It actually is Pride Week on campus. All right, so if you're not familiar with where Lubbock is, this will kind of give you an idea on the map. If you can fly to Dallas or Houston, you can fly to Lubbock. From Kansas City, you're inside the 600-mile range. Most of Missouri is going to be probably outside that 600-mile range, so you're looking at flying. But like I said, we have an international airport in Lubbock. If you can fly to Dallas, Fort Worth, or to Houston, you can catch a flight into Lubbock. Southwest Airlines, American, and United. Southwest, remember, bags fly free, so you can take that dirty laundry home to get it laundry done as well. 250,000 residents in Lubbock. So the city itself will actually serve about 1 million in population when you include the surrounding areas. Lubbock really is one of the major cities at where it's located out in West Texas in the southern part of the Panhandle. So I always say that Texas Tech Lubbock does have all of the major things that a big city would have, just on a smaller scale. We've got everything from we call it 4Golf, but it's like a Top Golf, to major mall stuff. So we've got an H&M in our mall. We've got Cheesecake Factory now. We've got a lot of large chain restaurants that you would see in other places. So you have all of the major resources. What's really cool about Lubbock with where we're located, you see where Santa Fe is on the map in Albuquerque. Those are the mountains, and you're only 4.5 hours from the mountains, and you can go skiing. You can actually rent skis on our campus and take them out to the mountains. I'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then we have a lot of great outdoor space. We actually have more parks per capita than any city in the state of Texas, as well as more live entertainment venues than any city in the state of Texas. We are home to Buddy Holly. I'm sure some of my students in there are probably like, who is Buddy Holly? He is, classic in the 50s rock and roll. Buddy Holly and the Crickets was actually how the Beatles, they were inspired by them. So that was kind of cool. So that gives you a little bit about Lubbock, where we're located. Just as a reminder, like I said, easy to get to. If you can fly to Dallas Fort Worth, you can get to Lubbock. We're actually only a 4.5 hour drive from DFW Airport. So let's talk about our academic opportunities. Texas Tech, we have a lot of opportunities on our main campus. So we have over 10 academic colleges on our main campus with over 150 majors and minors to choose from. So it's 10 academic colleges, 150 majors and minors to choose from. We actually have a school of law on our main campus and a comprehensive health sciences center on our campus as well. And when I say comprehensive, it's a medical school, it's a pharmacy school, it's PT, PA, OT, speech path, MD. It's a comprehensive school, and as well as health professions. So, on the side of running a hospital and things like that, we're going to have that within that health sciences center. It's actually connected to our University Medical Center, which is a level 1 trauma unit, and all of that is located on the main campus in Lubbock. So it's really cool. And we're so excited to announce, starting fall 2021, we will be the first vet school in over 100 years in the state of Texas, and the first one in over 50 years for the United States, the Texas Tech School of Veterinary Medicine. Now, it's not going to be in Lubbock. It's actually going to be about 2 hours north of Lubbock in a town called Amarillo, but it is still going to be in West Texas, and we're really excited about that. So these are our academic colleges. So I said they have 10 academic colleges on our main campus. This is the name of the academic colleges. I'm not going to go through them all because you can kind of see that on the screen. The highlight points to that, College of Arts and Sciences, it is one of our largest colleges on campus, as it houses most of our majors. You do see the Rawls College of Business and the Ed Whitaker Jr. College of Engineering. Both of those are ranked in the top 100, and those are very popular majors across the campus. You see a lot of students looking into the business and engineering field. Some highlight points about that College of Engineering, one of the things that we always like to point out is your classes cap out at 49 students max in our engineering school. So even though we are a major public research institution with a top 100 engineering program, you're still going to cap out at only 49 max in all of your engineering classes. They're going to be a lot smaller than that, most likely. So we have that small class feel for those students that are kind of looking into that. We do have an honors college. I'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. And then I always like to give a shout out to the College of Human Sciences, as that is my major, as I was a restaurant, hotel, and institutional management major. So take a look at some of those. So opportunities for enrichment, I'm just going to kind of browse through these. I talked about being a level 1, tier 1 research institution. So you see our undergraduate research. We have research in all fields across the campus. Even as a hotel management major, we had research available within our department, which was really cool to be a part of and get to see. But you've got it in the sciences, the engineering, the business, across the campus. You're going to have those opportunities. Tons of service learning. We love to give back to the community and things like that. That's one of the big things that Texas Tech wouldn't be there without the community that we're in, and the community really enjoys having Texas Tech as part of that. So we definitely have that. And then study abroad. I always tell my students my biggest regret as a college student was I didn't study abroad. I knew about it, just didn't really research into it. We actually have it required for a few of our majors. So if you're going to be an engineering student, pack your bags. You will be studying abroad for part of your time in order to graduate with your engineering degree. And then our architecture students, actually, they study abroad as well. So a lot of majors definitely recommend it and push it for our students. We actually have a campus in Sevilla, Spain. So it's a really cool opportunity for our students to not only go to Spain, but to take Texas Tech classes with Texas Tech professors and Texas Tech tuition and fees on that side of stuff. So some really cool opportunities. There's a lot of other cool opportunities on our main campus. These are just a few to really enrich that education experience as we get ready, go to college to get that college degree, and then to try to get that job and enrich that opportunities. Here's our honors college. I kind of mentioned a little bit about it earlier. If you're looking for more of a liberal arts type college feel within a major university, definitely look at the honors college. They do have smaller class sizes. They do have their own application, and they have some recommended requirements. They do have some holistic review right now for our fall 21 students, but they definitely recommend 1,300 or higher, as well as top 10% of your class. Is what they're kind of looking for student-wise, but you're more than welcome to take a look at their website, honors.ttu.edu, and they have a lot of information on that. Some cool benefits, not only the smaller class sizes, and it's not just harder. They're not really harder classes, as they say. It's just a different way of presenting the class. It's more of discussion-based learning. They do have some early acceptance programs, which is really popular, as well as additional benefits. They have their own residence hall, brand new residence hall on campus. I think it's now 3 years old, with a full service Starbucks in it. So that's pretty nifty for those guys and gals. We do have early registration for those students, so they do get to sign up for their classes ahead of time from other freshmen, sophomore, or other sophomores and juniors on campus. And then the undergraduate research, they really push it a little bit harder in the honors college to really excel there. There's going to be some more opportunities for them. Study abroad scholarships as well. All right, so the fun stuff. We'll get back to some more education stuff in a few minutes, but let's talk about life as a Red Raider. We have over 550 student organizations on our campus. As you saw the map earlier, where most of our students come from over 300 miles away. So even though you would be coming from well over 600 miles away, you're still going to be in the same boat as a lot of our students being far away from home. So you kind of look at that. We have students that are still from Texas that are actually coming from further mileage than you would be from just part of Missouri, which is crazy to think about. But you do have a lot of students. That's why we have so many organizations on campus. All of our new first-time students, so our freshmen, are required to live on campus their first year. It really allows them the opportunity to get more involved on campus and kind of start joining these organizations, making new friends, and things like that. We always say we're not a suitcase campus. We're not one of those campuses where students just are there during the week and then pack up and leave during the weekends. They stay through the weekends. They enjoy it. I know when I went to Texas Tech, after about a month and a half, my time of going back home kind of slowed down, and my parents would start texting me the home address just to remind me to come home every now and then, see if I forgot the address. So you kind of start to see that with a lot of our students. I talked about food earlier already, but 30 plus dining venues all spread out across campus. Of course, dining venues not uncommon for colleges, but we have quite a few. A lot of our residence halls have a major dining venue attached to them or nearby. A lot of our major academic buildings also have some type of food service. You'll use your meal plan. If you have a meal plan on campus, you do receive discounts and stuff. You can also pay regular that way. But if you're living on campus, you're going to have a meal plan and a lot of accessibility. At last count, I think we had 3 or 4 Chick-fil-A's. We have a full service Chick-fil-A now, which is really cool. Didn't have that when I was a student. So they, definitely have a lot of opportunities. I talked about our rec center and the ability to rent skis and do things like that, go to the mountains. We have a very large rec center, which is connected to our lazy river right there. So we were one of the first college campuses, or actually we were the first college campus to have a lazy river on our main campus. If you ever see like an aerial view of that, it's really cool. It's actually shaped like a rubber ducky. I didn't know that. They had just finished that right when I was getting ready to graduate. So I didn't get to enjoy it. So I always tell my students, please go to Tech, but enjoy that lazy river for me. It's not uncommon to see students floating around studying with laminated notes around that lazy river. I don't know where they get the laminator, but I think it's really fun to see and always interesting. And then we are part of the Big 12 Athletic Conference. So if you're familiar, of course, with Kansas and Kansas State over there in the state of Kansas, used to be Missouri, no longer is, but we have got Kansas, K-State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, UT, Austin, TCU, a lot of big, great competition that comes into Lubbock to play our Red Raiders and things like that. And kind of segue into that, we do have unlimited sports access for all of our home games for our students. So if you're a full-time student, you get unlimited access to all those home sporting events. So it was really cool. You know, I was joking about Pat Mahomes, you know, who's obviously the quarterback there at the Chiefs, being a Red Raider. A lot of our students got to go and see him for free, part of their tuition, as a college athlete, and he was just as good then as he is now. I mean, he may be a little bit better now, but he was pretty darn good, and we were really excited to have had him as our quarterback. But you get to go to our basketball games for free, or baseball, or anything like that. So it's a really cool opportunity. I always say, you know, you're a Red Raider. The team on the field are the Red Raiders, so you get to go cheer on your Red Raiders because you're one and the same. So they really need you in the stands, and we always love our students to get out there and make Lubbock a very hard place for the opponents to come play at. Some of our other really cool traditions that I love on campus are victory bells, which we have. We ring our victory bells after every victory, whether it's on the field or off the field. So graduation, they ring. Our chess team won a national championship a couple of years ago. They rang those for that, which is really cool. Awesome to celebrate them and things like that. And then for any victory on the field too, we'll ring our victory bells, which is awesome. It's actually on my ring, which I enjoy looking down and seeing those. It's the closest part to me too. So you understand and remember your victories in the classroom. We also have our live person mascot. So we have the Mask Rider. I really enjoy the Mask Rider. It is my favorite. If you ever look at anything Texas Tech, you may see a person on a horse with a cape and a hat and a mask. That is our Mask Rider. That's one of our live person mascots. We have another mascot that looks like Yosemite Sam. We call him Raider Red. But the Mask Rider is a student on campus. It's selected every year. They lead the football team out with a cloud of smoke and the football team behind them. It's one of the coolest entrances in all of college football. But they also do a lot of other appearances on campus, and they help us out in the Office of Admissions. So I kind of geek out every time. I graduated almost 10 years ago from Texas Tech, and I think I have about 10 years worth of Mask Rider photos because I still will go get a picture with the Mask Rider every year just because it's kind of like my, I don't know, my geek moment there for Texas Tech traditions. And you'll see our Carol of the Lights traditions. It's my favorite Christmas tradition. It's right before finals. I enjoy Christmas lights. I hope everybody enjoys looking at Christmas lights. I feel like that's one of the cool things. I hate putting them up on things, which great, you don't have to do that for this because we have people that do that. But the Carol of the Lights is our big Christmas tradition, and we get out there, we sing our Christmas carols, we have our orchestras and stuff, we have our spirit squads, the president of the university is out there, lots of students, so it can be up to 15,000 students and people within the community. It can be a very large event. Sometimes it snows, which makes it even more special, but we'll sing our Christmas carols and then we'll flip a switch and all the Christmas lights on campus will turn on all at the same time. So it's a really cool experience. Cool time, cool tradition. I definitely always recommend my students go. I think I went every year as a student. I actually still stream it on YouTube every year because I'm that person, but it's a lot of cool opportunities there. So we're going to talk briefly about majors with outcomes. We've talked about the fun stuff, but this is also kind of the fun stuff because these are the ways that, you know, you're going to really put that education, that degree to use. I always have students ask me when I'm at college fairs and they're like, "Hey Taylor, are y'all going to give me a job when I graduate?" I'm like, "Well, we're not going to give you a job, but we're going to give you the tools and the resources and the education to go after that job and that career." But if you don't really use the Career Center and the college career centers, you can probably go out and get a job. but this is going to make it so much easier, so much more resources and tools for your job search is going to be our Career Center. They do internship, coaching, co-ops, career coaching, career fairs, resume and cover letter critiques. You'll have classes that they do that, but you can get more within that, within our Career Center and things like that. As alumni, I have access to our Career Center, which is awesome. We have hireredraiders.com, I believe is the website, but we have a website for people looking for Red Raiders, which is awesome. And we're in demand as alumni, which is really cool. They do etiquette dinners, mocktail dinners, where you learn how to go to dinner with potential employers and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. I did mock interviews every year, so it was actually required for my major, but I sat down in front of someone and they would ask me with strengths and weaknesses, and it really got you ready for those interviews for the real world to get you that job and things like that. So I definitely always tell students, career centers are not totally unique to Texas Tech. You're going to see so many universities talk about them and have them, but it's one of our things that we really want to make sure our students utilize, and we're really proud of, at least in admissions, because we want to see the full cycle student. We want them to come to Texas Tech, get that education, but also get that career. And that's one of the tools that we're going to give you. All right, so we have a little bit of time left. We're going to talk about admissions and affordability. So I'm not sure where everybody is in the admission cycle in terms of age. I'm going to talk to you like you're going to be a senior this year. So you're getting ready to apply to Texas Tech. Now, if you're a junior, some things could change. It is the year 2020, so it is the year of change. So I am not positive if we're going to be test optional for any of my juniors or sophomores right now, but I'm going to talk like you're a senior and like we are going to be test optional, just like we're going to do right now. So it will change, could change next year. So please check with all these institutions that you're talking to. But here's what we are right now. So seniors, our priority application deadline is not until May 1st, but our scholarship priority deadline is December 1st. The scholarship application questions are part of the application for admissions. So if you apply for our scholarship, if you apply for the institution before December 1st, you're taking care of both of those. When you submit your application for admissions, you are submitting your scholarship questions. Those are tied together. You cannot separately submit them. It's one is all together. So I just always want to remind students, if you're applying to Texas Tech, please make sure you do fill out the scholarship questions that you see. It will clearly tell you these are for scholarship purposes. Just know that you cannot come back and submit those at a later time, because they're all together. So December 1st, though, is our most important priority deadline. We will accept the scholarship application portion after December 1st, but please note that we will start awarding money after December 1st. So if you want the biggest pot of money, it's going to be there before December 1st. So get those in earlier rather than later. These are the things that we require for admissions at Texas Tech. So you're going to see the application, which we're on Apply Texas, which some of y'all are probably like, what's Apply Texas? We're the great state of Texas, and we do everything. Texas does their own thing, so why not have our own college application website? You'll see most of the public universities in the state of Texas are on Apply Texas, and we have decided to go to Common App as well this year, so you don't have to fill out both, either or. Most of y'all are probably going to be more familiar with Common App right now, so if you've got a Common App, add us to it and you can go that route. So either one though, and next year, if I have any juniors, one thing I do know is we will be also on Coalition. So next year we're going to be Apply Texas, Common App, and Coalition. But for seniors, those are the two right now. We do have a $75 application fee. We do have a fee waiver program. We do not accept SAT, ACT, or NACAC fee waivers. However, we will base the fee waiver on financial need that is represented by the student aid report, the SAR, on your FAFSA. So please make sure you fill out your FAFSA as soon as you apply to Texas Tech, because you can select fee waiver on your application. But if you believe that you may qualify for that, you'll need to get that FAFSA in for supporting documents. We do need your official high school transcript. We will accept one uploaded by the student through the end of last semester, so through the end of their junior year. And then we will need the official one if you do decide to come to Texas Tech. If you would like to send in any dual credit transcripts or those community college transcripts or junior college transcripts, those do need to come directly from that institution. Those are not required for admissions for my new first-time students, but they're strongly recommended, especially if you're going to be going test optional, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. We will take your SAT or ACT scores if you would like us to review those. We do super score at Texas Tech for either one of those. So if you have multiple ACTs, send those in. We'll take the highest subsections. The same goes for the SAT. But like I said, we are test optional for 2021, which I will talk about here in a moment. But let's go through the admissions process like we are a student that turned in our test scores. We were able to somehow take a test this year. Let's go through that student real quick. We are going to look at your class rank first as long with your test score. So you may be asking what's class rank. If y'all aren't familiar with it, that is a Texas thing. Well, it's not a Texas thing. A lot of schools do class rank, but class rank for admissions is a big Texas thing. So we will look at what quartile you're in or where your rank is and then see how you did on the SAT or ACT. If you know you're in that first quartile and you had a 25 on that ACT, you are going to be assured to admit, which means just get everything turned in. You can be assured that you're admitted to the university when you get that in there. If you do not meet those requirements, we will go through the holistic review, and we will talk about the holistic review here in just a moment. So I just want to make sure that y'all are kind of familiar with that. If you're in the top 10%, there is no minimum SAT or ACT. You can submit one though, or you do need to submit one if you want us to look at that, but you're an assured admit based off of that top 10 ranking as well. All right, so we're gonna go over to the holistic review. So say we didn't meet that 24 on that first quarter or wherever we were on that chart. We will take a look at everything that you put on your application. So the academic course selection, extracurricular activities, leadership, all those blanks that are going to be on those college applications or on that Common App or on that Apply Texas, we're going to take a look at that. We're also going to look at your high school transcript. We're going to look at that supplemental items that you may turn in. So if you turn in that dual credit transcript, we're going to take a look at that. We will take a look at the optional but strongly recommended letters of recommendations and essays. So those are optional but strongly recommended. So if you know you're going to go into the review section, as an admissions counselor, I'm telling you, definitely look at doing those other things. You've probably applied to other schools that you've submitted letters of rec and submitted essays that may be required. You can use those. Just make sure you don't put the other institution's name in when you submit it. But I definitely recommend, if you've got those on hand, to go ahead and submit those. What we're trying to do, and I always tell students, in college admissions, we're not looking for reasons to say no. We're looking for reasons to say yes. When you can provide more information for us to review, there gives us more reasons to take a look at it and make that educated decision on saying yes or no on that. So if we do transfer to Texas Tech, I'm going to breeze right through these, but there are some transfer. If you do decide to go to community college or your path took you to another school first and you decided, hey, maybe I should have gone to Texas Tech, we will base it on your post-high school. So we'll look at transferable hours, 2.5 for 12 to 23 hours, 24 or more, 2.25. We do have a few programs that have restricted GPAs for that. So we definitely have a list of that in our review book and things like that. And we can always reach out to you and get you that. So let's go over our test optional information really quickly. We do understand that for fall 2021s, my seniors, you may not have been able to take an SAT or ACT. Year 2020 has been just so weird. I know ACT hasn't had all of their tests. I know SAT has done a few. I believe I had some students last weekend that were able to take some tests, which is great. I'm excited for that. You do have the option, though, to go test optional. Even if you've been able to take the test and you didn't like your test score and it doesn't represent what you've done in high school, you don't have to submit that. You can be test optional. That's going to be the beautiful part of being test optional this year, is it really gives you the option to decide which path you want to go. We do have a holistic approach for all our applications that are test optional. So we are going to look at everything that we talked about on that holistic review. Some supplemental items you see there at the bottom of the screen. I strongly recommend, of course, that essay, letters of rec, the college transcript that does need to come from that college, like I said. So if you have dual credits, send that in. We'll look at IB or AP scores as well. So if you have AP scores from your junior year, I definitely recommend sending those in, as those can be looked at for that holistic review for test optional. It gives us more items for us to look at. And then a resume, you're going to fill out a resume on the college, on the Common App or on Apply Texas. So really, you've already filled one out, but if you want to give us a supplemental resume, again, more things to review. Everything from freshman year, day one, is really, you're able to put that on there. So did we join organizations? Have we done our service hours? Are we tracking that? Those are all great things. A job or anything like that. Summer camps, people always forget, maybe summer band camp or anything like that. You're able to put that on there as well. I haven't had any questions yet on the Q&A, so feel free, guys, if y'all want to use the Q&A at the bottom, y'all are more than welcome to ask questions as I'm going. I have it pulled up on one of the screens so I can kind of glance over and see it. Again, please feel free to reach out questions. We've got about 6 minutes left of this presentation. I'll take more questions then. But let's talk tuition and fees real quick. So you're going to be under the non-resident side here. So tuition and fees for one full year estimated at $39,426. That is our non-resident fee. So you'll see the top two numbers, $23,870 is our tuition and fees, and then $9,956 is our room and board. That's an average of all 19 residence halls on campus. So some can find that more affordable, some can be more expensive. Books, transportation, personal miscellaneous, all of that is estimated cost. Transportation may be a hair high for you, maybe around that, depending on how much we go home. Now, we have a really cool opportunity for out-of-state students. If you receive $1,000 or more in competitive scholarships, so whether it's our merit scholarship, we have two types of merit scholarships I'll show you, any of our scholarships off the scholarship application, so anything that's directly from Texas Tech is a competitive scholarship. If you receive $1,000 or more, now it has to be per academic year, you will receive in-state tuition. So that $1,000 scholarship can take you from a $23,000 tuition and fees to $11,000 tuition and fees, and you get to keep the scholarship and add it to that. So some really cool opportunities there. In-state tuition is really not that far, not that big of a reach for you if you look at it that way. And I'll show you some couple opportunities for scholarships. Actually, we're gonna go there now. So this is our merit-based scholarship. So this is going to be based off class rank and test score. This is our presidential merit scholarship. This is the traditional scholarship. We've had this one for years, different versions of it at least. So this is going to go off of your class rank. So as you can see at the top, we've got top 10, 11 to 20, 21, 30, 31, 40. And then there on the side there, that left side, you see the test scores. So pretty simple, look at where your class rank is and see where your test score is to qualify for these. If you qualify for one of these scholarships, these are 4-year scholarships as long as you hit the renewal requirements, so make sure we hit those GPAs, but this will give you in-state tuition for all 4 years as long as you keep that scholarship. So our in-state tuition waiver, this is a really great way to do it. So if you see that you're already in these test scores, that's a really, I would say apply, you're looking really good for that. So let's talk about those students that are going test optional. We have our Matador Scholarship. It's our test optional merit scholarship. It's a holistic review of your application for admissions and all those supplemental items and those questions. This is going to be how we'll award merit-based scholarships on this. So this is where it's really important. I mean, it was already important to submit everything fully, completely, really tell us who you are in the application for admissions. But for out-of-state students, it's even more important to make sure for that scholarship opportunity. Because these scholarships will be 4-year scholarships. There's an opportunity that if you do receive one of these, that could get you that waiver for that in-state tuition. So you could really turn a $1,000 scholarship into an $11,000 scholarship or even more. So some really cool opportunities with that. As your admissions counselor, I'll be here along the way to assist you with that if you have questions. These are transfer scholarships. Some of these are for Texas residents. So I am going to go past the first one, the Proven Achievers one. That one is open. It's 60 transferable hours. So if we do go to that community college first, you'll see some scholarships for that as well. RadarConnect.ttu.edu, this is going to be your home for the application process, uploading documents. You can upload your own high school transcript, your essays, your letters of rec, if you're not using the uploader for Common App. If you did apply on Apply Texas, this is going to be a great resource. Even if you applied on Common App, this will still be a great resource to check your application. It actually has links to my information on the website so that you can get in contact with me, phone number, and all of that stuff. But RadarConnect.ttu.edu, highly recommend it. It is your portal to all things application Texas Tech. Once you've submitted the application, you do need to sign up for this off of that main page. Again, here's our mailing list QR. So maybe you didn't want to scan it at the beginning. Here it is again. Hopefully I convinced you to get that scan. If not, I will have y'all's information. We'll be able to communicate if you have any questions in the future. Let's talk about visiting real quick. If you can make your way out to the South Plains of Texas, West Texas, you can come visit us. Our visits have now reopened. We've been open for about 2 weeks of visits. Campus has been open since the beginning, but we're now allowing visitors to come take a look. You can go to visit.ttu.edu or that admissions.ttu.edu. That is going to have a link to our visit schedule. If you hit the /virtual, you're going to find a whole list of virtual resources, events, videos, recorded videos that are all going to be there for you to take a look at. We have a great resource there. As we've had to pivot into this online world more so than we've ever been. And then our visitor center number is there. I am actually done presentation-wise. So if anybody, I've got 3 people in here, if y'all have questions, feel free to send that out into that Q&A function. I really appreciate y'all joining me today. I know I'm end of the day here. Everybody's probably been Zoomed out all day with presentations and stuff. I don't know if y'all are in class doing Zoom or not like that, but really appreciate y'all coming out today. We'll hang out here for a little bit more time. I'm gonna grab a water while I wait for questions. I'm sure I didn't cover everything, but hopefully I don't let nobody leaves a question today. And this will be recorded too, by the way, so it will be on the website. So if y'all do want to go back and check anything, you're more than welcome to. Cheerleading opportunities. Great question. Thank you. So for cheerleading, there is going to be tryout processes. So the best way to do is, I cannot remember the full website, but if you Google search Texas Tech Spirit Squads, you'll see that they are 3-time in a row national, 2-time. I've lost track on how often they've won a national championship recently. But they are very, very good. There is a tryout. We do see, I think we've actually had a few Missouri students on the squad this last year, within the last couple of years. So we have cheerleading, and then we do have a pom squad. Both are actually national champions really recently, multiple national champions recently. So I definitely recommend to go to that. If you can, like I said, I'm sorry I don't know the exact website, but if you go to Google search just Texas Tech Spirit, you will see the tryout information. You want to make sure you apply to the university because tryouts will be in the spring. And then you will see some information for contacting them. I definitely recommend, I believe Bruce is still the coach there, so reach out to him. You'll see his contact information. Bruce Bill is on there as well. We got a lot of love from that Netflix show too for cheerleading, so we're really excited about that. But thank you for your question. Yes, yeah, we do have a track team. I have to be very careful with how much I talk about athletics. So we can talk about like, do we have that? I just can't go into details of like how to join teams and stuff like that. That's an NCAA thing. But yes, we have a track team, men's and women's track, very, very successful. I think the women are usually in the top 2 or 3 in the Big 12 conference. Our men were actually the national champions last year. So we were really excited about that. A lot of great facilities. They just upgraded their facilities indoor track wise. So some great opportunities there. I definitely recommend texastech.com is that website to check out our athletic stuff. You'll want to contact the athletic department though. And I'm actually going to drop a link into I sent you the link for the cheerleading squad stuff. So you'll be able to see that. Any other questions, y'all? We have a few more minutes as we wrap up. by the way, the email for the cheerleading squad, it's spirit@ttu.edu. So I definitely recommend reaching out to them. They're going to get you the process of what needs to happen. Alrighty, y'all. Still got 2 in the room, so hopefully I think of some questions here. And I think that's all she wrote.
Well, thank you so much to our panelist, Taylor at Texas Tech, and thank you for joining us. After you close this window, please click on that survey. It's 4 questions that'll help us out a lot. And also sign up for any other sessions this next week. And then this recording will be available as well. So thanks again. I know it's a crazy year and a crazy time. So thank you all panelists and those of you who joined in, and have a great day.